All right, so we're on page 606. Before we do our surveys, we're going to practice making our own tally graphs using some of the information that we're given. So, sorry, I'm going to just bend this down so you can see the page a little bit better. You may not see me as good, that's okay. Okay, so we're going to look at our model and draw at the top of our page. And it says, how can you make a tally chart to show the boats on the lake? Decide if each boat has a sail. So if I look, I notice that they helped us a little bit. And I noticed that we X'd out a couple boats that had sails. So I'm going to just trace over those X's. And then I'm going to go over that tally mark so that I can see it. Then I'm going to cross out another one with a sail and make another one. Now, when we do this, I want you to remember that if you get to 5, you want to cross it over. So make sure that you're practicing showing your tally marks to show 5. So can you continue Xing out the boats with sails first? And then I want you to go with the boats with no sails. So we've done 2 of them, but I can keep going and making more tallies to do it. Okay, so I want you to complete that tally graph. Make sure you're checking if the boat has a sail, it goes on the top tally. And if it has no sail, we use the bottom. And then you're just writing your total in there. So go ahead and pause this so you can finish your tally graph. And then we're going to move on to completing another tally chart with the fish tank. Okay. So next we have our share and show. And it says use the picture to complete the tally chart and then answer each question. So for this one, what you can do is you can X out each fish and then graph them. So remember when you do that, it might be helpful to count them because then you know if you need 5 tallies or 4 tallies or 3 tallies. But I could go ahead and start by doing my zebra fish first and going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right away when I see there's 5, I could even write that number here and then make my 5 tally marks. Okay. Now I'm not going to do it for angelfish. I want you to go ahead and count your angelfish and draw your tallies for that. And we're going to answer some questions. Now, you guys are going to do these on your own so that we can see if you're ready, if you know how to read your graph. Number 1, how many zebrafish are in the tank? So we did that one together, so we should be able to take our number that we wrote and just tell me how many. Number 2 says how many more zebrafish than angelfish are there? Remember when we ask how many more? I always think it's helpful to make that subtraction and say my bigger number, take away my smaller number, equals my difference. So I'm going to take my angelfish and take my zebrafish and subtract my angelfish to help me figure out the difference. If we want to know how many more, we want to know a difference. So go ahead and tell me. If you want to just count the difference and look how many more, you can do that too. But with a tally graph, it's not as easy to see the difference as it might be when we had, say, a bar graph, because we don't see those blank spots as easily. So sometimes making a subtraction problem can just be a helpful way to see it. And then last, it says how many zebrafish and angelfish are in the tank. So for this one, we want to do an addition problem. So for this one, we want to say zebra plus angel equals the fish altogether. So you can just take your 2 numbers at the end and put them together this time instead of subtracting them. Okay, so go ahead and tell me how many fish there were all together. Another strategy you might use is you have your picture. So you could always use your counting to figure that out too. Okay, so there's lots of different strategies you can use to figure that out. But go ahead and tell me how many fish there are all together. All right, we are on the survey next. Sorry, I told you last time that we were on it and I was wrong. It is the next page. So we're going to go one more page, have some fun with some surveys and questions, and then you are done with math again.